Hey everybody, it's David W. Stock here. It's Physical Health Wednesday today, and usually on Physical Health Wednesday I like to talk about my running program or different kinds of runs that I do, long runs and or intervals or those kinds of things. But today we're going to hit the physical health topic from a different angle, and we are going to talk today about autoimmune diseases. And so I put a post in each of the areas of life saying, what is your greatest challenge? And in each area of life. So, what is your greatest challenge in physical health? And I put it in that unit. And one of my members, Jackie, commented on that post and talked about the challenges that she had with an autoimmune disease that she has that's called Graves' disease. And so we're going to get Jackie on here. In just a moment. Sometimes, as you may have noticed, I have a little difficulty with some of the technical aspects of live video. But here we go. I've got Jackie, and she is ready to come on. Well, that disappeared. I don't know why that's not adding. Jackie, come on, Jackie. I can add you. I know I can. Oh, I see. You would not believe the video setup I have here. Okay, Jackie, this one's completely my fault. But I'm going to have you on in a minute, okay? Okay. So here comes Jackie.
Okay, I can't hear you now. I can see you.
Oh,
Oh, I can hear you. I can hear you. Okay. Can you hear me?
okay. Yeah,
Okay. Good. Everybody's good. So
yeah.
I'm not very
We
technical.
got just a tiny bit of feedback from the speakers when I talk, but I think we're going to live with it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm good with this. We're good. So.
Okay. All right. So I was telling everyone about the post that I put in the different units that said, "What's your greatest challenge?" And Jackie commented on physical health, about the challenges that we have with the autoimmune disease and what's called Graves' disease.
Yes. Um. Yeah, it's been 8 years since I was diagnosed, and when the 2 years before that I was sick all the time, pneumonia, bronchitis, you know, flu, colds, sore throat, everything you can imagine, and it just wouldn't go away. And so in 2012, I had what they call a thyroid storm, and it's where your thyroid goes crazy and it produces too much hormone and it makes your body go super fast. Everything in your body is just 100 miles an hour. And of course, I ignored it and chalked it off to, oh, I'm stressed or I'm tired or it's just whatever. We were traveling. My husband travels with his job a lot, and the kids were grown and gone, so we just hopped in the truck and went all over the country and did our thing. So I saw different doctors. I didn't have one doctor in one state because we're traveling so much. So no one thought to check my thyroid. So they kept telling me, I'm just sick and or stressed or hormones or craziness. And then in 2012, I lost right at 70 pounds in about 8 weeks without trying. um,
Wow.
yeah, I was starving all the time. I ate like a teenage boy, just hungry, hungry, hungry. I was sweating. And when I say sweating, I mean it was just pouring off of me, and people were like, what is wrong with you? I said, I don't know, hormones, or I chalked everything off to, and it was a hormone, just not the one I thought. So, um, so I kind of went with it, took over the counter medicines, thought, well, to get better, I have allergies, blah, blah, blah. Ended up in the ER in heart failure. I couldn't walk by myself because I had muscle wasting. My hands shook so bad I could no longer even read my handwriting. This eye, as you'll notice, is bigger than the other. That's thyroid eye disease, and it's, even though they call it thyroid eye disease, it's a separate autoimmune disease that just kind of comes with all of that. So, but it took me about uh, probably 3 or 4 years to really, because all the damage it did that I didn't know, you know, it was doing. It took me a long time. I still have a problem, like, my eyes. I have lost vision in this eye, and I'm probably going to have surgery eventually to um, correct, the eyelid. But this, I never
Yes.
knew thyroid could. I never knew anything about thyroid. I had no idea it controls
So,
everything in your body.
so do you, can you give us sort of a bit of a medical sort of breakdown of what was happening there like your metabolism took off, right?
Yes, when you're hyperthyroid or have Graves' disease, um, you have so much hormone being pumped into your body. Your heart's racing, your metabolism is running, away with it. Everything is sped up. So, and the same as for the opposite, when you're hypo on the lower side, everything is slowed down. And that's why it's so important to keep your levels, or try, to keep your levels within a certain range, because if your body's overworking itself all the time, you're exhausted, you're sick, you're wearing your parts out, literally, and then if they're
Right.
going too low, you're not getting what you need. And this is everything. The thyroid affects every cell in your body. And I've done a lot of research in 8 years. I knew nothing about it, and I wanted to find out, what does it do? What can I do? How can I make this better? Make myself healthier. Um, my luck, I have Hashimoto's too, which is another autoimmune thyroid disease. Yay! It's on the other end, so I kind of swing back and forth a lot, and it's hard for
Oh,
me.
that's so interesting.
It's it's horrible, but I didn't know that could happen. I thought you could have one or the other, but you can have both. You can have, um, Graves' disease and Hashimoto's, or with some people, just aging will kind of slow it down a little bit. Just regular thyroid issues, and that's normal for it to slow a bit. But Graves' disease, um, that's the one that they watch. That's why they do radiation, or they take it out, because it's easier to treat a hypo state than it is hyper, and hyper is more dangerous, or can be.
Right.
Yeah. So. So I've learned a lot. I've talked to a lot of people, doctors, other people that have it. I've been doing this for 8 years, and I'm still learning things. I was writing some notes down to try to remember to tell you things about it, and ran across something, and I was like, oh, well, I didn't know that. Like antibodies.
Yeah.
Graves, the autoimmune part of it is. they test your antibodies. And if you have a certain amount of antibodies, or if you have any antibodies um, in your blood, then you have autoimmune thyroid disease. If you don't, then you've just got regular, hypo or hyper. So,
Can you just say that one more time for me?
yeah, if they test your blood and you've got, it's called thyroid peroxidase antibodies. And if you have those in your blood, you've got autoimmune thyroid disease, which is Graves' disease. So, and the
Right.
same is for, Hashimoto's. Also, that one has antibodies too, um, but about 5%, between 2 and 5% of everyone that's tested will sometimes have antibodies, but they don't have, Graves' disease. So it's kind of a weird autoimmune disease because it has a million different symptoms. It affects everyone a little differently. Um, some people like me, my luck, I have all the symptoms most of the time, but I've learned to not eat certain foods, and I take supplements, and I try to do everything naturally because the more stress you put on your body, the worse your Graves' disease is. So.
Right. So you're taking a little bit of a holistic approach.
I am because I've seen what all these drugs, do to everyone, and they don't know that there are alternatives. Now you have to take, if your thyroid is dead or they take it out, you have to have thyroid medicine for the rest of your life. You can't live without it. But there's certain
Right.
kinds. The general rule for doctors is to prescribe levothyroxine, and that's the big pharmaceutical thing that they do. And I took that for a while, but it wasn't for
What
me.
is that drug called again?
It's called levothyroxine. It's a
Right.
man-made, synthetic. So I switched. I moved back home, Texas, 2 years ago, and found a new doctor. And I told him flat out, look, I don't want to take this. I want to take this over here. I've researched. And he said, okay. And I was like, thank you, because my other doctors wouldn't do it. The ones in California and Oregon, they wouldn't change my meds because that's what they prescribe. So, and here I also have a holistic doctor who um, tells me which vitamins I need, which supplements. We do blood tests. Um, Most people with thyroid disease have very low vitamin D. Um, they have low iron. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. um, and it's because your body no longer absorbs medication or nutrients the way it should because your stomach acid is really, really, really low. So you've got to kind of work around everything with probiotics and, you know, um, try to stay away from goitrogens, which are, do you know what those are? It's vegetables, the leafy green vegetables. They have to be cooked. Can't eat them raw, because
Really?
they'll affect your thyroid absorption. So I didn't know that for a long time. I was just eating, 'cause I love, vegetables, and I was eating soy too all the time. I can't have soy. Some people can, I can't. One little taste and I'm done for a couple of days. So,
So, so Susan had a question. She just wanted to just to be clear, you've had your thyroid removed?
no, I had radiation. You can have it removed or you can have radiation. At the time, I didn't know any better, and I was so sick. I mean, I was literally near death when the ambulance, came and got me. So I was scared. I didn't know anything about it, and they kept saying, "Well, we'll just do a little radiation." And and then you'll take a pill for the rest of your life and be fine. I was like, okay, they're doctors, they know what they're talking about. So no, no, the radiation I should have never had because of my eyes. Um, and huh? What's that?
Yeah.
Yeah, the radiation does something to your eyes. So if you have thyroid eye disease, when you're diagnosed, they should never do the radiation because it'll make it worse. And I didn't know that. No one told me. So it's best, in my opinion, to try to take the anti-thyroid medications for as long as you can. And some people do 10, 20 years. They take to it very well. So, Dave, sorry, my husband just had knee replacement. So, Dave. So anyway, um, yeah, always go with the medication first. Um, Always tell the doctors what you want tested, what tests you want, because most of them are old school and they go by only the TSH, which is your thyroid stimulating hormone. And you can't go by that.
Right.
You have to go by how much T3 and T4 you have in your system. And those are made by your pituitary gland. It's very complicated. Your pituitary gland tells your thyroid to make T3 and T4. T4 is inactive, but it converts to T3, and that's the active hormone that goes through your body, and helps you to live properly.
Right.
So
I have a question.
okay.
So in the beginning, you talked about how your metabolism took off and your heart was racing and you ended up in the hospital. And you said something about muscle wasting.
Yes.
And so if I have this right, your body was feeding on the muscle?
No, that's not the way they explained. They said that because my body was in such a rapid, I was just, 100 miles an hour, 24 hours a day, even though I was exhausted and could barely move. What happens is, you're burning all this energy. You're sweating. You're not getting the food. The food you're starving and eating. You're not getting any of that because your body's not absorbing it. So
I see. So the nutrients aren't getting to the muscle.
right. So you get really weak. I literally not even walk by myself, and that's why I called the ambulance because I had just come home from the hospital with what they said was bronchitis, not knowing I was in a thyroid storm. Um, and I went to get off the couch. First of all, I coughed so much I had to sleep sitting up. I mean, I just coughed and coughed until I thought I was just going to die. And it was from, all the craziness. And I went to get up to call my husband, and I couldn't walk. So I literally belly crawled to the phone. We were in an RV in Oregon, my favorite place. And I didn't know anyone there, and no one even knew I was home. So when the ambulance showed up, my neighbors were like, "Oh my God, what's going on?" And I couldn't talk. I couldn't, I could barely raise my arms, and they were like, what's wrong with you? And I said, I don't know. I can't breathe. My blood pressure was like 220 over 119. Yes, and they were like, trying to work on me, and I remember, riding there partially, and I said, what is wrong with me? And they finally, 5 days, took them 5 days to check my thyroid. And finally they said, oh, you have Graves' disease. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to die. Graves, that's a terrible, terrible name, for a disease. And
Yeah.
they had to explain to me, what was happening. And it was terrible. I was in there about 2 weeks, and then I went home and had to have my sister come because I didn't even have the strength to pull myself up into RRB. So, and it took a long time. I still have issues, of course, my eyes, but my blood pressure will suddenly just be high all the time, like 199 over 90, and just for no reason. I'll swell. Um, my legs and feet will swell really bad, just because. And then all of a sudden, I'm fine. And I've been doing this for 8 years, and it kind of got, and that's where what brought me to the comeback challenge and to your page and other pages was because I said, I'm tired. I got tired of my own crap, and I said, I can't keep saying, well, I'm sick. I can't do anything. What can I do? I feel miserable, blah, blah, blah. And I got up and.
So, which brings up my next question. What can you do? Like, this is not entirely something that's in your control. There are parts of it that are in your control, and is there things that you can do, or things that you are doing? Are there things that you're having some success with that's helping you along that way?
I'm very aware of changes, in my body now. I've never been more aware in my life. If I start getting to where I can't sleep, insomnia or swelling or blood pressure starts going up, I'm like, okay, something's going on. My levels are probably off. And I can usually tell if I'm hypo. And that's the problem with me because they'll change my meds after a blood test. Oh, you're too hyper. Let's lower them. And then I'll lower them and I'll swing the other way, and they're like, oh, they're too low. We need to add more. So I'm trying to use diet, stay away from the goitrogens, the soy. Dr. Pepper's my thing. I can't give it up. I'm sorry. My husband's looking at me like, I cheat with. I love sugar. I do. I love Dr. Pepper. But I try not to drink it all day long, you know. And I'm seeing a holistic doctor now. And I went to him because my hormones I felt like I was, because it makes you, it can make you a little crazy if they're too out of hand. And I said, look, I'm at that age, so my doctor says, I hate that. And I said, I need to go into this new adventure of my life, over 50. I said, I want to be healthy. I want to have energy. I don't want to be sick all the time and sweating and, and exhausted. And so he started me on some new supplements that I'm trying out. And I stay away from drugs, like prescription, except my thyroid and my, blood pressure. But pain, I don't take pain pills. I don't take anti-inflammatories. I take turmeric. I make ginger and lemon tea. That helps for inflammation. And I just stay on top of everything. And I make sure I see the doctor every 3 months. So you just have to be proactive.
Yeah.
So do you know anyone else that has a thyroid disease or a problem?
Oh, well, I'm glad you asked that because I was having a conversation with someone yesterday in a different group that I'm in, and she mentioned Graves' disease.
Oh.
And so I messaged her and I asked her to come join my group, and she came on the first or the second live that we did. She jumped on there, and I said, I don't know if you want to say hi, Jody, but I'm gonna tag her in this video. So she is in the other group that I'm in, which is starting right now. So she's over there. I know she was very interested in this, and I'm going to tag her in it and make sure that she can see it.
I actually have a group. I have it's me and two other girls. We have a private thyroid group that people can go on and ask questions. That's how I learned. Was I found a group and I started asking questions, or watching,
Yes.
what they're doing and how do you do this and how do I deal with this, and so I have that. We have a public page, and then I've talked about it. I have a blog, but I haven't. It's an old blog from a while ago, but that I talked about it, but I got to the point where I was like, okay, I'm talking too much about it. I'm making it a big thing, and I don't want to be defined, by Graves' disease or Hashimoto's
Yeah.
or because I've been sick really my whole life, so with other
So,
issues and
uh, Jackie, one of our other members just commented on here and said, I have multinodular goiter.
oh, the goiter. It's a goiter. Is that what it says?
Oh yes.
Yeah, I do. Okay, she has multinodular goiter.
Goiter.
Okay. Are they? I can't see her. I can't see. Uh,
Okay, so she says that she has been offered to have her thyroid removed, but she doesn't want to.
Ask her if she is on, or she can message me anytime she wants. But ask her if she is on anti-thyroid medication right now. And if she'll know what I'm talking about. There's others. These are the drugs you take before. Um, you go through surgery or radiation, and a lot of people have had success. They've even gone into remission with it. But not everyone can do it. But if you can do the methazole or the propanol, I would definitely do that as long as you can, because once it's dead or once they take it out, that's it. It's done. You can't, you know, you have to take all the other medications. So it's better to try those, in my opinion, first, and then, and she's the patient. The doctor works for her. It took me a long time to figure this out or to say something, and if you don't want to do something, you don't have to. Get a second opinion, a third opinion, research, talk to people, but don't do something you're not comfortable with just because the doctor wants you to hurry up and, just be done, so, because it's your body.
Yeah. So, would you be okay with sharing the link to the group that you're in?
Sure, no problem. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
Thyroid Tribe. Thyroid Tribe. That's the name of it.
Okay.
And there'll be.
Yeah. If you can, you can even create a post in the feed, and I'll put the link in it there. And then also, do you have other resources online, like there's a really good article or something you know of that
Um,
she
Within the
might be
group,
interested?
there's files that they can look at.
Yes.
And it's been kind of quiet lately. Everybody's sick, I think, from all this mess, with stress. But you could ask anyone, post a question. Somebody's going to answer you. And if they don't have the answer, or if we don't have it, we'll find it and send it to you, or send that person to you to answer your questions. 'Cause we don't know everything, but we know a lot between us. So
Yeah.
we even have a doctor referral. We have a list of doctors that people have actually seen, and where they're at and if they like them. Of course, we're not going to put a bad doctor on there, but people will go on and say, hey, I live in Chicago, you know, what doctor can I see that's good? And everybody will say, here, this is who I see, you know. So we share a lot of information all over the country, you know. So we try to help people find who they need. So.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, so if you want to make a post with that link in
Yeah.
it, or if you want to put it in the comments of this video, that's fine too. Either way, I'm going to move them in the health emails if they're there. I just want to make sure that the people that need those resources are able to get them. Because it seems like there's one of the most pressing needs for that. So,
Yeah, and I have several other pages that are really good too. So
yeah,
share
yeah,
those too, and you can just go that they can go in and pick, you know, look around and see what they like, you know. So
yeah. So I have one more question for you.
okay.
Prior to today, how many times have you been on live video?
Never, and I've been scared to death, and I haven't wanted to do it. And I was in another group, and they're like, "Come on, you can do it." And I was like, and I finally got the courage to do it. And then my speaker didn't work; they couldn't hear me, and I was like, "Oh." So this is my first one, and it's not as bad as what I thought. I'm trying not to watch myself because that's my problem. I watch myself, and I'm a little self-conscious, you know, sometimes about this this eye. So I'm not watching myself. I'm not looking. I'm just talking.
Yeah,
And I just told my husband when we were a while ago. So I need to have my laptop fixed so I don't have to, you know, get down with my phone and yeah, because I'm not in my
yeah.
office. I have to be down here, you know, with him right now. So,
Well,
but yeah,
I
this
want to tell you, I really,
scary at first, but it's not bad. So I might can do this. So
I'm really glad that you did this. I'm proud of you for doing it, and I'm really happy that you did it because you have a really important message to share. And I'm so happy you did. And there's people out there that are watching this right now and that will be watching it in the future that need to hear what you have to say. So I'm so glad that you did this.
thank you. Well, hopefully I can help someone because I didn't have a clue. I was lost and I just did whatever the doctor said. So now I tell people,
Yeah,
go get your thyroid checked. You know, always get whether you feel good, bad, whatever, and research. Read. I'm a reader, so I research everything. So bad they call me Dr. Google. So, yeah, just do your research and talk to people, and you know, don't rush. Don't rush into anything you don't want to do. So
yeah,
that's the best
yeah.
advice.
Perfect. All right. Well, thanks a lot, Jackie. I
Sure.
really appreciated having you on today. And so, and we're gonna end on a happy note. You're so talented.
Thank you. I know my leg. If you can see my leg, it's like literally bobbing, you know, under here. That's why I'm glad I'm at the table. So you can't see all my nervousness, but thank you for having me on, and I will send some links to. Do you want me to just share them in the post or on the unit?
You can either create a new post and or you can put it in the comments of this video.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay.
Great.
Thanks a lot, Jackie.
All right. Bye bye.
Talk to you soon. Goodbye.